A great comedic script can only be so funny without the right actors telling the jokes.
Director Ben Stiller tries to cover all the bases by bringing in some of the stars of the biggest movies of the summer.
But did too many cooks in the kitchen spoil the soup?
There were times when I was doing Jack that I actually felt retarded, like really retarded.
Damn.
In a weird way, I had to sort of just free myself up to believe that it was okay to be stupid or dumb.
To be a moron.
Yeah,
To be moronical.
exactly.
An imbecile.
Yeah. When I was playing the character.
When you was a character.
Yeah, I mean, as Jack, definitely.
Yeah. Everybody knows you never go full retard.
Tropic Thunder is the classic movie within a movie. It's the story of the making of a Vietnam War movie by a bunch of Hollywood actors who don't really know what they're getting themselves into. It was one of those movies that I was so looking forward to seeing. I'm a big fan of Ben Stiller's, and he did not disappoint. I laughed so much, I even saw it twice in the theater.
You know, Ben Stiller is not the first name I would associate with this movie, even though he directed it, he stars in it. It's a Robert Downey Jr. movie, top to bottom. You know, the formula that they took, I mean, they didn't do it on purpose, I guess, but to cast this thing, it was the stars of the two biggest movies of the summer, Jack Black from Kung Fu Panda and Robert Downey Jr. from Iron Man. And you cram him in there, you add Ben Stiller, you create some great comedy, you get Steve Coogan in there. Everything is just hilarious as it pours out, just because you have sort of like some of those elements that you recognize, you know, the traditional war movie and the playing up on the stereotypes about that, but also you have some really over-the-top lewd comedy. For instance, I don't know, Robert Downey Jr. in blackface. And what you get is just a completely original piece of comedy that both pokes holes in the Hollywood system and also just entertains, period. It's just funny for its own sake.
Damn it! We lost! We people lost, man! Tell them, McCluskey. Tell them what time it is.
I don't believe you people.
Huh? What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Huh?
Before the movie even starts, it's funny because they're doing fake trailers for movies starring the actors that are in these movies, which I thought was a great touch, because you really get to see where they come from, like Ben Stiller's, Tug Speedman's Scorcher's franchise, Kirk Lazarus as the serious actor, which makes Robert Downey Jr.'s role even that much better, knowing that he's not just playing Robert Downey Jr. in blackface, he's playing an Australian in blackface, which makes me go, why can't this guy win an Academy Award for this? It's too bad that they don't recognize comedies the same way they recognize dramas. His level of commitment here was outstanding.
You're talking about how the intro with the trailers, and it's innovative for a number of reasons. One, because it's a movie about movies, so we start with trailers as just, you know, a new kind of storytelling device. But yeah, it definitely does a great job of establishing who we're looking at. You know, not only just who these characters are, but who these characters are from real life. You know, the Australian is Russell Crowe. We have Ben Stiller's Tug Speedman is pretty much Tom Cruise. You know, everybody is in there, is very familiar. Nick Nolte was also great in this, even though, like, you know, his role wasn't exactly huge. And to me, it seemed sort of irrelevant about some of the parts of his character and who he was and where he was coming from. It was just kind of funny to have Nick Nolte being this sort of harsh-talking Vietnam War veteran who's got no hands. Just as a stereotype there, it was just very funny and totally necessary as a character, as a role.
I'm sorry, can we cut?
No, we're still rolling. What's going on for real? My butt is hurting.
You know what it is? Damien, I think it's the line.
So now we in rewrites, right?
Where you going?
Let's rewrite it. Action Jackson can't cry. That's what's going down.
The one thing that also, I think, added to this movie was the peripheral presence it had on the internet. It had a lot of websites that were made dedicated to these characters. Like, you can go to tugspeedman.net and go to the Scorcher websites, and you can find all these little things that aren't real, but they exist, and they don't say that they're fake. They exist as if these people are real characters, which I think is always a great touch. It just makes you more involved in the movie. And one thing that I really loved was they put out a half-an-hour documentary for free through iTunes called Reign of Madness, which, if you see the cover art, it's basically a mockumentary, another mockumentary on Heart of Darkness, the making of Apocalypse Now.
Now, a lot of the stuff that you're gonna actually find on the internet, you're gonna find on these DVD releases. There's a bunch of featurettes about all of the characters. There's there's making ofs, there's commentaries. This thing is loaded to the gills.
Which is great. It's one thing I love about comedies is that there's bonus features, and the extras they add are generally a lot more in depth, a lot more layered. They can just do little skits. that are second to the movie and put them on the DVD that are funny. They don't necessarily add anything, they're just entertaining. Dramas, you can't really do that, but with these comedies, and I know Tropic Thunder probably has more stuff than you ever want to watch on the DVD, especially with the commentaries. The Reign of Madness will be there, and the director's cut of the film.
Yeah, the director's cut makes me want to watch it even more. Like, I don't know what else they left out of there. If they cut it down just for time or for content, I don't care either way. It's got to be in my collection. It's definitely a keeper for me.
I totally agree with you. I'm a big fan of Ben Stiller. It is going in my collection, Blu-ray director's cut or even the DVD director's cut, depending on what I get my hands on.